This is He Said, She Heard, starring Mike Fox and Kelly Petering, featuring music by Mattia. He Said, She Heard, an original podcast series created by Mike Fox, brought to you by the Bluetooth Toilet.
She heard a silly noise. I know what's going on. He said that's not what happened. Girl, you got it wrong. He said she heard about what's going on. He said she heard about what's going on. About what's going on.
On a quiet Wednesday evening, Susan Clemenstein and BFF Sally Chowder-Smith drive up to the Women's Book Club at Antoinette Brothenheimer's $1 million mansion. Brothenheimer residence? How can I help you?
Good evening. We're Sally Chowder-Smith and Susan Clemenstein.
You're here for Mrs. Brothenheimer's book club commentary with Broth. Okay, the gate will open momentarily.
Sue, I am thrilled that you agreed to tag along tonight.
Thank you, Sally. Honestly, I'm still a bit tickled that a woman as important as Antoinette Brothenheimer was okay with you inviting me.
Why do you say that?
I thought I had to be a part of the Boys Are Back in Town crew to be able to go to something like this.
First of all, it's the Girls Are Back in Town crew. Secondly, there's no need to feel intimidated by her wealth.
It's not that, Sally. It's the way she talks to people. It's as if her shit doesn't stink.
Oh, Sue, you are so funny. That's all a facade, Sue. No worries. But speaking of poop, if you need to make one and a phone call in private tonight, she has a Bluetooth toilet.
What?
Yep.
What the hell is a Bluetooth toilet?
You'll see, especially after you eat her broth. You'll definitely have to poo.
That's disgusting.
But seriously, don't feel intimidated by Antoinette Brothenheimer. Once you open your book to her, she'll open up to you, woman to woman. Okay, it's time to go in. You got your book, BFF? Yes, you do. Let's go.
Good evening, Mrs. Chowder-Stein and Mrs. Clement-Smith.
Good evening, Butler. It's actually Chowder-Smith and Clement...
Shh, let it slide, Sue. Oh, I mean, Sue. Let it slide.
Well, it appears I messed up your last names, and you messed up her first name. Slew, that's funny.
It's okay.
Anyway, right this way.
Good evening, ladies. Please help yourself to some broth before we begin tonight's discussion. Manners, newcomer. Just kidding. Enough. Let us transition from into that big room where our literary discussion will commence.
Hey, you two are hitting it off well, Sue. Are you glad you came now?
I'll give you my review during the ride home. Before we commence this week's Women's Book Club, I have an announcement. Mrs. Seafood Biscay has dysentery and will not be attending tonight.
Oh, that's a shame. Sue, I wanted you to meet Mrs. Seafood Biscay. I hope she feels better.
That's a shame. Anyway, I'm so glad to be here, Mrs. Brothenheimer. It's so busy at home with the kids, I'm glad my husband insisted on a ladies' night out for me. You've come to the right place, Sue. After tonight, you'll see how men are useless. Let's begin. Hang on. What do you mean by that? Is there a problem? Nope. Very well, then. Sally, would you please begin this book club discussion, please?
I'll be honoured to, Antoinette. I read The Co-Ed Dormitory by Sheila Noodles. The Co-Ed Dormitory is a sci-fi college saga set in the year 2070, and in the future, all men are gay.
What?
By them being gay, guys are permitted to room with gals. In the dorms, separate beds, of course.
Oh.
But the problem for Darren, the lead male, is he is straight, and he's from the past. Literally, because he came to the University of Tasmania in a time machine.
Oh. I hope Darren's Freudian issue comes to fruition.
I'll read that part. Darren from the past should have known he didn't stand a chance with Yolanda. his beautiful roommate. Darren may have mistaken Yolanda's warm smile for something more. As Darren approaches Yolanda, slowly, she pulls out a laser gun and zaps Darren right in the knackers.
I absolutely love it. So cruel. He may have just wanted to give her a high five.
Better safe than sorry.
How do people reproduce in 2070?
In vitro.
Let's hear from you, Sue. Very well, thank you. I read the Keto Atkins diet book by Andrew Keto Atkins. Excuse me? That name may ring a bell from episode 1, but believe it or not, that is actually not only his last name, but also the name of the diet covered in this fantastic book. His. He. That's rude, but anyway. Andy creatively and practically takes the best of both the keto and Atkins and creates the perfect diet from the best of both worlds. Sally, you forgot to educate our newcomer.
I'm so sorry, Sue, but you do realise this is a women's book club, right?
Let me look around. I don't see any men in this big room. Do you? You're missing the point. The author of that book, Andy Keto Atkins, is a man. Here, let me look at it. That would be great. I think you would. Let me just add this to the embers. Why would you throw my book in your fancy fireplace?
Relax, Sue, it's for the better, darling.
Ladies, let's watch this masculine smut burn, burn, burn. There it goes. Ha 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 ha. You don't do things like that. I just did.
Here, Sue, calm down and drink a martini.
Anyway, my book is called All Men Are Blasphemous Pigs by Australian's best-selling author, Clandestine Brothel Popple.
Ooh, Brothel Popple, I love that name. I also love the cover. Is this a children's book?
It doubles up as one.
Look, Sue, the pig is wearing a necktie. So cute.
See the red button underneath his necktie, Sally?
Yes?
Go ahead and push it.
That's hysterical.
Ladies, this is awful. I'm a women's rights advocate, but if I'd known this was going to be a man-bashing parade, I would have stayed at home.
Have another drink, Sue.
You're taking things the wrong way, Sue. We're merely enlightening you. Enlighten my butt. Speaking of which, I need to use the loo. Oh, butler! I'll find it myself. Thank you, but just before I stink up your toilet, I just want to say that I don't understand how a married woman can be such a man-hater. It's very simple. My husband understands that I'm in charge. In charge? It should be equality and partnership.
Sue, sweetheart, since you're getting more upset it might upset your bowels, you should use the loo now.
Great idea. Perhaps after you evacuate your bowels, your mind will follow. That doesn't make any sense. It appears our pupil has a lot to learn. How could she not understand my analogy?
No worries, Antoinette, she'll get there.
I hope so. Hold on, Sally.
I'm sorry you're having a rough night,
You hear that?
but I'm going to cheer you up.
Oh dear.
You look amazing.
So do you.
Why don't you come a little closer?
Is your husband necking with Sue?
I hope so.
Well, hang on, you don't mean that, do you, Antoinette?
Of course I do. He has a cold, and that way he can transmit it to her.
He said, she heard. We'll return right after this.
Oh my god, Mum, Daddy's stinking up the toilet again. He probably took his phone in there with him. Like, so gross. I can hear him on the phone in there.
I know that's gross, but not as gross as before. You know how we had a Donny installed, right?
Yes?
It's called the Bluetooth toilet.
But it was just the dunny installed, not the entire...
I know, but this product is also being sold in America, where they flush clockwise.
Oh, like, but here, when Dad flushes, it goes like counterclockwise?
Exactly. And the best part, Daddy won't have his phone in his hands when he transitions from dunny to sink.
Really? That's like totally awesome.
That Bluetooth dummy in there is great.
It's totally my turn now.
What's with her? She's usually traumatized when using the toilet after me. Even after I spray and...
Hi, Bobby.
You know what? She can't judge me anymore. She's talking to boys while pooping.
All thanks to the Bluetooth toilet.
The Bluetooth toilet. I recorded this commercial while I was in there. Mattia, guitarist, composer, musicologist, and music teacher. You can listen to songs by Mattia, like this one, Like the Water. Running Away Inside My Heart.
I'm feeling a bit strange. I'm here inside my heart. I hear a little rain. It's all inside my heart.
These songs are available on Mattia's YouTube channel. You can also head over to Mattia's website at en.mattiaartist.com. Again, that's en.mattiaartist.com. We now return to He Said, She Heard.
Is your husband necking with Sue?
I hope so.
Well, hang on. You don't mean that, do you, Antoinette?
Of course I do. He has a cold, and that way he can transmit it to her.
Wow, but you don't feel the least bit betrayed?
Not at all. I provoked him to infidelity by withholding intimacy. But nevertheless, let's see what's happening behind door number 8. I'm glad the kids are all right. Hey, for a rich woman, you have piss-poor manners. Don't you know how to knock?
Who's that? Someone walked in on you while you were taking a dump?
I know. Oh, you're just using the Bluetooth toilet. I thought...
That's just rude. You're taking a shit while you check on your family and Madam Brothel Pooper walks in.
Yes, may I finish? Yes, of course, pardon me.
What happened?
She's on the phone with her hubby, which means my hubby is still in bed, nursing his cold.
Are you all right, Antoinette?
No, I just realized something.
What?
Even though she doesn't make as much money as I do, she's much happier than I am.
What are you saying, Antoinette? Let us not forget that it's because of you I left my husband.
I know, and I think I made a big mistake. You should go back with him if you love him. Even though there are a lot of scumbags out there, there are still some decent men out there too.
Antoinette, where are you going?
I'm going upstairs to give myself a cold. Honey, wake up.
Sally took Sue, the woman's book club tonight. Sally took Sue, Mrs. Broderheimer's house tonight. But Sue didn't know, only women's are too allowed. But Sue didn't know, no books by were allowed. Broderheimer took Sue manly book into her fancy burning fireplace. Then took out a piglet book that say man's our whole of disgrace. Sue got mad at all of this and excused herself to the loo. The noises heard behind the door sounds like more than just a poop.
Is your husband necking with Sue?
But when she's opened up the door, she was amazed at what she saw. Sue was on the phone with her man. Antoinette saw down where she went wrong.
Someone walked in on you while you were taking a dump?
Even though there are a lot of scumbags out there.
She had an epiphany, a moment of clarity.
There are still some decent men out there too.
Sally took Sue, to the woman's book club tonight. Sally took Sue, to the woman's book club tonight. Sally took Sue, to the woman's book club tonight. Sally took Sue, to the woman's book club tonight.
This was He Said, She Heard. Sound effects from this program come from Zapsplat.com and Fesleyan Studios.
We heard the silly said she heard what was going on. He said she heard what was going on. What was going on?
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. Visit our website, hesaidSheheard.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram too. Cheers.